sales director here at Moser & Company, and we're live here in Mexico for the 2025 conference. And very proud to be here with some friends from Mexico and to go through, I would say, an exciting weekend. To go through the watches, obviously to see some good car racing. 2025 is our second year participating at Formula One as a sponsor of the VWT Alpine team, and it's a nice story how it started when Alpine was looking for an auto brand. At first we thought it was spam when they reached out to us, but it turned out that it was not. And very rapidly the values of both companies were shared, and great teamwork where it's really a collaboration, it's a strong partnership, more than just being a contractual partnership. So it was great for us to be able to, I would say, increase brand visibility through Formula One, because it's a fast growing sport worldwide. But it was important for us not to be only a logo on a car, but really to make it live. And so there were three main pillars that we wanted to work on. First, obviously, was brand visibility. So we're not only in Formula One, we're also in endurance, but also in the whole Alpine world. A second element was guest experience. So, for example, like now with you here in Mexico, to be able to show you, I would say, behind the scenes here at Formula One, so visiting the garages, meeting the pilots, the drivers, meeting the team, the mechanics, and just giving a sense of what teamwork is all about and how competitive and how demanding and precise it's all about. And that's when I would say this precision is very important, and that was our third pillar. And precision is what makes our watches tick. And so there was also a third pillar where we wanted to have an exclusive model. And once again, not just a logo or two logos, Alpine and Moser, on the watches. First of all, we don't have logos on our watches. So it was easy for us as well to have a collaboration piece where you don't have to fight who has the biggest logo or which logo is where. Last year we had a beautiful cylindrical tourbillon, so a very mechanical looking watch, three-dimensional timepiece, limited to 100 pieces in blue, and also a special limited 20 pieces in pink, because BWT has the pink colors, so there was a limited edition. This year we wanted to go one step beyond and really to demonstrate that Formula One is all about teamwork. Just like watchmaking is that it's not only marketing and sales, but it's every single person, every single talent in the company which brings something specific to the company. And what we did is that we have a special set today where we have the driver's edition. So it's a chronograph, mechanically looking, because you've got, instead of having a dial, you've got the rotor, which appears underneath. So it's a very spectacular timepiece as well. But what was important is that the mechanics, they need to know what time it is. There are very strict rules in Formula One, how long they're able to work on the car. You've got countdowns, and so this was information that they needed. And as we were the official timekeeper, then they were not allowed to wear another watch. So we came with an idea between their engineers, so the Alpine engineers, the Moser engineers, in order to come up to develop a totally new model which had never been done before, specific to Formula One, where every mechanic could have the watch and you would have the specific information. So, for example, when does FP1 start? When does FP2 start? If there's a special information that the team needs to know, you have the team engineer which can push out the information on the mechanic's watch. So it is a connected watch. It's connected within the team. You don't have heart rate, you don't have anything like that, or how many steps you've done in a day, because that is not the purpose of that specific watch. But it's really to make a tools watch, and also to show that a Formula One driver is nothing without the team, and vice versa. So those are the kind of values that we would obviously share with Alpine and the Formula One world. Formula One is about performance, about precision, about innovation. And you can say that Moser as well you could say that Moser is a traditional brand. We're going to be celebrating 200 years in 2028. However, we want to bring newness innovation, whether it's that tools watch, I would say the mechanics watch, but also when you look at some of our materials that we use, the dials, then we try to be that bridge between tradition and very contemporary way of modernizing a technique, a watch. If you take the enamel dials that we have, is a very old technique, but we brought it to a modern life as well, where you've got the hammered structure and you've got the different pigments of enamel goes 15 times in the oven, so it's a traditional émail grand feu, but in a very modern Moser way. We have also different dials using nanotechnology like Vanta Black, which is usually used in satellites or in telescopes, as it's the darkest material on this planet. So we decided to use that as well in our watches as well. So always trying to be one step ahead of what can be done, breaking maybe the traditional ways of watchmaking, and bringing that Moser twist, that Moser something that other brands would not necessarily think of, and that's how it keeps Moser, I would say, very innovative in that way. So Mexico is an important market for us, and just in terms of time schedule as well, because this would be Moser's third presence in just over a month. That probably shows how important it is. There were some big fairs going on with some retailers in Monterrey, the Moi Fest. Then you have the Burger Experience. Then you have the Cie. Then you have the Mexican Formula 1. So we obviously you can't stay 6 weeks, but we divided in different periods. So I was in Monterrey. Our CEO Edouard Mellon was at Cie to launch the very special Allende piece, which is also something which shows our commitment to this very important market, where we don't necessarily do a lot of limited editions. We keep it very specific, very strategic. And we've only been in Mexico for a few years, but we definitely can see the potential, the growth. There's a maturity on the market, which is very exciting, especially being part of the team and seeing this growth. And so that's why we come. We want to. I'd say the Mexican client as well is refreshing, because there's an open mind. It's very emotional. You see sparkles in the eyes, and definitely not blasé or I've seen this, I've seen that. So open to new ideas, open to new products, open to new brands, and being kind of this fresh, luxurious horlogerie brand. Then I think there's a good match for the Mexican client. And that meteorite Allende. Also, you have that it's older than Earth, which is I find fascinating. So you can have something on your wrist which is older than Earth, and coming that it landed in Chihuahua. So then you also have. So once again, we don't like to make limited editions for the sake of making a limited edition, but there has to be a story to it. There has to be authenticity. Sometimes authenticity is misused or misused. It's used, but without an authentic meaning behind it. But it's definitely something that we wanted to be genuine, so that the clients can rely on, that they can identify themselves to, and that is something which is once again extremely important for us. And I think it shows the success of the brand as well, that it's not just a limited edition for the sake of making a limited edition. Which is your favorite watch? It's a little bit like who's your favorite child. It's a tough one, because we're a small team giving our input of what we like on the market, different tastes, whether it's automobiles, whether it's luxury wear. It depends on I mean, everything you take in, so many different ideas, artwork, etc., and you kind of put all those ideas in a watch. So every one of us contributes to watches. So to decide which one is difficult, because at the end of the day you like all of them. But if I would have to choose one which kind of where you have a special connection, I would say the Perpetual calendar, because the Perpetual calendar is is a very unique piece, is a very special piece. It also allowed me, it's going to be 16 years that I've been working for Moser. I joined in 2010. And even if the brand is still very much unknown today, you can imagine in 2010, 2011. And the best way for me to kind of define what Moser was all about was the proprietary calendar. And I managed to get a lot of attention thanks to that watch. It was the watch that I was wearing all the time, because if you had, nobody was interested in, I'm talking from B2B, having a new brand in the store. Nobody had time for a new meeting. And so that proprietary calendar, when you walked into the store, would you like, I'm Moser, I'm Nicholas from Moser, do you have time? And nobody has time. Give me 30 seconds, let me show you what Moser, and you take it off, you show it, and usually they would go, and then you would spend half a day in the store. Then it would be that first window of opportunity to start a discussion thanks to the proprietary calendar. And today, it was launched in 2005, 2006, it won the Grand Prix de l'Horlogerie. And still today, last Geneva Watch Days in September, we still are presenting a proprietary calendar. So it is the flagship movement of Moser, which is probably the best way to describe what Moser is all about. Simplicity, it's user-friendly, it's not trying to make something overcomplicated, it's really making something which is complicated for the engineers and the watchmakers, but that every owner doesn't have to think, am I allowed to do this, am I not allowed to do that? You just wear it and you enjoy it.